Okay. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let's see. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026. It is right now 8:55 a.m. Okay. So not gonna really spend too much time on this one. I want to keep it under 10 minutes. So let's just kind of go through it. Writing stuff. It's kind of like slow progress, but it's mostly due to me choosing to do other things other than writing, and I honestly need to fix that. And it's not. I know that I can do this. I know it's not. It's not a big. It's not a big deal. It's not a big issue. But I've been. I don't know. I guess I've been doing other things or focusing on other things now recently. Um, Other than that, it's yeah, just doing stuff in life, right? Like even reading, I kind of been putting on the back burner. Just doing I'm doing way more real people, real hanging, stuff out again. So I guess that's good. I'm starting to. I feel like I am getting my friendliness back or something. It's my socialness. I don't know what you would call it. I'm starting to really go back to the person that I used to be. Not completely, but it's like I'm going back to being as charismatic as I used to be, and I can feel it from my interactions, right? And there's a all I'm gonna say is like when I get going, or when I get like actually start pushing myself to be like more social. It's it can be a dangerous combination, right? Like I know that I have very, I don't know, it makes me feel good. I don't know, but it's like it keeps on winding. I'm just trying to keep it so that I don't become. One thing I didn't like before was I became very, it was overconfident, kind of arrogant. So I'm trying to keep myself from falling into that as well, right? It's be confident, be good with people, but don't cross to the over arrogant side of things, I guess. Other than that, um couple things. First, I need to really watch what I eat, right? Mostly because you know I wanted to cosplay a character, right, that doesn't have his shirt on, and he's ripped, right? Big thing, and let's just say that I'm going the opposite direction with all the pastries and sweets and stuff I'm eating. So it's it's, I guess that's the only way to put it. um Other than that, it's um yeah, like I said, I've been going out more in certain ways, some to interviews, some to just in general going out and trying to talk or do things, so it's just more interaction with that. um Last Friday, yeah, it was Friday. Last Friday I went to donate blood. you know I haven't been there for a while now, but I went into, well, it's not blood, it was palette. I don't know how you pronounce it. Pallets, I think. um so I went to donate pallets again, and I'm back on it. I had stopped because I had a bad interaction before, where when I went through the process, my left hand, because you have to have both hands. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if you can see it on here. Like you can kind of see the mark still on there a little bit. Some right there. You can kind of see the mark where the needle went in, right? But it's on both sides, right? On this side as well, somewhere in there, right? So it's like it's to keep its circulation going, right? So you have been taking out from one side and it goes in the other way. It's just the way that it works, right? And they pump you with to take out your blood. They pass it through the machine, and then it takes out the pellets, right, that it needs, and it's gonna store it away. Then it pumps back the blood back into your body, and sometimes they'll put saline or other stuff so you can stay healthy, or I guess pass out or whatever. Anyway, before the last time that I did it, right, while in the process, you have to keep on pressing a ball and stuff, right, on this hand, the left hand. And I had a very bad interaction where basically my hand just kind of like froze like that, right? And I was like, it was like rock hard. I couldn't move it. I couldn't do anything. I had to tell the nurse, just like, hey, like, I know I'm being a little bit, like a whiny kid or something, but like, I can't move my hand. So then they had to massage it, and it took like 15-30 minutes for them to get it back to to be moving, which it's like it kind of hurt too. So it's like I don't want to be a little pansy or something, right? I normally don't complain too much, but yeah, that scared me. I'm like, dude. And afterwards, it took me more than the weeks. It took me almost probably more than a month before my hand was fully back to feeling regular. Right? It felt off, and from time to time I will feel like a tingly sensation and stuff, which kind of like scared me off for a bit. It threw me. I'm like, dude, maybe I'm just maybe my body isn't strong enough for it. Anyway, so I took off a little bit, and then how life is. You stop doing something, and then it's becomes like a thing that it's very hard. Like, you're like, I want to do it again, I want to do it again, and you never kind of do. But anyway, I went back on Friday, and I donated pallets. This time it went perfectly well. No bad things, just a little discomfort that goes with the process, right? And I watch Cars. I like to joke about it. I'm like, man, this is the best movie watching experience I have, because they give you a warm blanket, you watch the movie and all that stuff. So either way, I think that's a good. I wanted that to be significant, because I want to mark it as a change in things that I'm doing, in like a pivot in my life. I want to mark it, right. Like, I'm gonna start doing the blood donations. I won't do it every 2 weeks like I used to. I think that maybe it might have been too much. Maybe that was the reason why I had a bad experience as well. But at the same time, I don't want it to. I don't want to do it that far apart. So I'm gonna try doing it every month. I think that's a good number. 12 times a year, still better. I think it's still a good number. But if I notice that it's still kind of like a bad interaction, then maybe I'll cut it back to 4 times a year. It just depends on how my body handles it. But I do want to continue donating and stuff like that, because I know that there's a lot of people that could use it. It could be used in surgeries, it could be used for accidents, it could be used for people that need it, right? Immune deficiency, like I said, births, during giving birth, mothers need it a lot. I have O plus blood, I think that's what it says on my card, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's very good for a lot of people. Well, I might be wrong, I don't know. I think it's good for a lot of people. um but yeah, so I'm gonna hopefully keep on doing that. Talking about other stuff, like I said, I've been doing interviews, right? That last place that I worked at didn't it was the work, it was fine, but it just didn't fit in, and not in a bad way. I did my part. Like, I try to be really friendly, I try to be and all that stuff, but it just felt like I wasn't, like I wasn't fitting into the team, right? There was no good cohesion. It just felt like I was always kind of like off. So I've been searching. Currently I had two big possibilities, two options, right? One of them was a job offer for a construction company, and it will be starting off from the bottom, but I could see myself growing. And the most important thing for me was to just get that consistency going, right? Get into the habit, and just put myself back out there, more interaction, and start. I think it would have been a good humbling experience to start again, and then regrow, right? And hard work is always good. Yeah, I could also use it for losing weight, right? Get into shape. But that was one. The other one, recently, just this past weekend, I went to interview with a shop, a car shop, right? And basically, I would start off as I don't know if they're called cashiers, or the people that handle, like, human and interaction, completing the sale or whatever, and also contact the part person and stuff. But I talked to the owner of the shop, and then they like, they had plans for opening up a second shop. Plus, they had a system in place where you start off, right, and as at that position, and then you're already learning to be the next level, right? Which I'm like, okay, that's fine. And the place pays, if you compare it to the industry, it pays really. I think it pays really fair, very very lucrative, like very well, very um, higher than other places. And they just, like, just from the interview, I got a good vibe of the place, right? Like, the people that were there, just felt like a good place to work, right? A place that I could maybe see myself. So That's probably what I'm gonna go with. He told me to think about it, don't rush it, right? He said to give him a call back on Wednesday, yeah, so I still have time to think about things. But I think I might go with them. It is an hour away from where I would live, but in general, that's not too bad. And if after working there for, let's say, a month or a little bit more, if I notice that I am a good fit in there, I'm gonna move closer. I know that there's places around the area, that I saw that I could afford. Um, Other than that, like I said, grow. And he told me that he was planning to open up the other location and more locations eventually. Um, and that depending, through working hard, he could, you could climb it up. Like you can go and get the other positions, right? He was it was the whole thing about if the place has growth, it has opportunities, it's a good place to work. That what more can you ask for, right? As long as it's a good place to work. um I mean, I am gonna be doing it at least 8 hours every single day, for 5 days a week for, I don't know, 30 years, 20, I don't know how many years, 10, 20, 30, 40, until I retire, kind of thing. You might as well do something that you enjoy doing, or be in a place that you like being. um other than that other than that oh, I went. This is like I said. I went to take. Well, I took my brother to do one more drive. At this point, he already knows how to drive, but he wanted to go driving on the freeway while there's traffic. So we went on Sunday around around 1, which is normally there's a good there's traffic in the freeway, but it's not too much. It's the probably the least busiest day of the whole week, right? And that way he can get a taste of it, and get some experience driving on it, and not be completely overwhelmed, because it's traffic here in Dallas, especially in downtown Dallas, can be it can become pretty hectic. People don't put signal lights. A lot of times they'll just swerve from lanes. It's all those kind of things. So, but he knows how to drive. I would trust him to drive just about anywhere at this point. He just needs practice. He just needs to be left alone so he can fly. That's what I like to say, right? Like, at this point, he can, just let him drive some more. Let him go out with his friends. Let him do all the things he wants to do. Like, he wants to get a job, like and work, drive to school, drive here and there, and yeah, he's ready. He's gonna Yeah, I'm proud of him. He's gonna take off. Um, other than that, um, other than that, oh, yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm pivoting the cosplay because I don't have the body yet, right? For that one, and I want to do it. I want to do the cosplays. Hopefully, a little justice, or try as much as I can. Um, I'm thinking about doing a Lucifer Kronos from Hunter x Hunter cosplay. Not the one that he has on his regular suit, but the one where he uses the black and the actual suit, like regular suit, because it's easier for me instead of trying to source out the pieces and stuff. The suit will probably work. I can find a regular black suit that matches the aesthetic. His hair is combed back, like just slick back. I can do that. I will have to shave the beard, and then my weak chin is gonna be showing, but that's part of it, I guess. Um, the hardest part is gonna be putting that cross on here that he has, right? I, I mean, I don't have the artistic, talent, so we'll see. Um, Other than that, is just whether I want to put something, to kind of like, I guess, block some of the imperfections and stuff that human skin has, and make it more anime style, or if I just want to let it be, right? But either way, I do need to shave all this off, because I don't think he, I don't think he he has that, Anyway, um, what time is it? I'm about 15 minutes in. I talk too much. Yeah. Other than that is, yeah, it just same stuff, same live, same whatever. doing taxes, doing this, doing that, chores, things. But yeah, and I don't know. Other than that, it's like, yeah, just growing and becoming, I guess, a little bit different. Becoming a better person. Simple as that. Don't I don't I think mentally and just in general, I am starting to get back, to a good spot, like a really good spot. And the biggest thing is with the social aspect, and that's also another reason why I wanted to push myself out of a just a technical role and more into a social, human centered role, was so I can, build not only my connections but build my interactions and stuff with people, right? Which is the thing that drains me the most. I'm not gonna lie, right? It does take a good chunk of my energy, but through constant interaction and constantly doing it, that's the only way that you're gonna get better at it. So we'll see. And I'm still chasing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, still chasing, but I think I'm making headway. Okay. Still chasing after the same girl, but I think I'm making headway. Hopefully, things work out. Anyway, see you guys next week or something. Oh, I did do a video last week, right? And it even went over what I wrote, the new piece of the novel, how I rewrote it based on the more poetic style, and YouTube didn't upload it, so I'm gonna just think that that was not meant to be, and I'm just not gonna try to re-upload it. But yeah, I did upload it last week, and I spoke more about other things, but I guess it wasn't good stuff, and YouTube algorithm was like, nah, let's block that. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week.